Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Lawrence Michael, Operations Manager for Air Quality Remediation. Making a remediation video, typical, just like we do all the time. This is mold remediation in an unfinished basement area. Try and keep my hands out of the screen and keep it steady for you so you don't get nauseous. Long story short, we've kind of gone throughout this house. Any of you guys that saw our last video about the master bedroom, master bathroom, and then a secondary bathroom as well as some duct cleaning, that was this house. We then found an issue down in the basement. This house has been plagued by a number of different water incursion issues, mainly the roof, but on top of the roof there are some exterior window issues, siding issues, cracks in the foundation. I mean, there's been a plethora of different water incursion issues here. So we've kind of had to go throughout the entire house and do a decontamination and a mold remediation on every floor. It's a shame that, and I won't get too into it. The builder that built this house is no longer in business. There was some shiesty stuff going on there. So unfortunately, the homeowner really has no repercussion. There's no warranty. There's no way to hold the builder accountable for all of these substandard things that are going on. So they kind of just have to deal with it on their own, which is a shame. But we're about done. So upstairs, master bedroom, master bathroom, the secondary upstairs bathroom remediation is all done. We finished the air conditioning unit cleaning and duct cleaning for the second floor. So I don't know if you remember, that was a dual zone system. Those of you that didn't watch the video, dual zone systems, usually a unit in an air handler in the attic that services sometimes the attic and the second floor, usually just the second floor, but sometimes the attic's set up to where it's easily accessible for human occupancy, and in that case it would cover the attic and the second floor. And then there's normally a second unit, the dual system, down in the basement or the crawl space that covers the basement and or crawl space in the first floor. So this situation, or this house was set up as a dual zone system. So we cleaned the upstairs unit and the ductwork, and now we came down into the basement. There's also an issue in the kitchen, unfortunately, that we'll have to start either tomorrow or the next day. We'll be here in the basement tomorrow to get everything finished up, but I did want to walk you guys through and show you what we had going on, what was done, and what still needed to occur. So full basement decontamination. Again, it was an unfinished basement area, so it's all real open. We have our negative air machine here, ducted out our window to create our negative air pressure. And we can walk through. All these items have been HEPA vacuumed and sanitized. So HEPA vacuumed with a HEPA vacuum and sanitized with an antimicrobial solution. We use Sporecidin. That's the industry standard. There is botanical plant-based antimicrobials as well. The big one is Benefact Decon 30. We can use that as well if there's a concern for VOCs, which are volatile organic compounds, or somebody is susceptible to smells and odors, something like that. After it's been HEPA vacuumed and sanitized, we encapsulate. So that's this white we're seeing up here. That's an antimicrobial sealer that prevents new mold growth from occurring in the future. Right here is the front door to the house, and we can see that on both sides of the door, so leaking on this side and then leaking on this side, right where the front door is, it was leaking down on both sides, went through the hardwood flooring to the subflooring, and then down here into the basement. So we had to address all of that. Now, it wasn't bad enough to warrant removing the subflooring. We were able to just treat it in place. In the back door, they weren't so lucky. So more items that just got decontaminated. We go all the way up the steps. As we go over to this side, again, all these items have been HEPA vacuumed and sanitized. A lot of times with these leather wrapped mats, like gym mats or leather punching bags, sparring equipment or medicine balls, stuff like that. Leather is really susceptible to mold growth, and it's really hard to get it out. And a lot of times it is a judgment call, but a lot of times it can't be salvaged. There's no way to get that the roots of that mold, of those mold spores out efficiently and effectively to prevent it from reoccurring. So a lot of times you just have to err on the side of caution and then just remove those affected items. So here we see this would be the back door. Let's see if I can do this backwards. So we see right here in the corner, and then right here, again, both sides of the door, one side, other side, and then not in the middle. So again, that would be the back door leaking from both sides, going through, in this case, linoleum flooring, affecting the subflooring and then coming down into the basement. So we still have to address that. And then full transparency, you know, that's why I make these videos for you guys, so you can see what goes on during a remediation and restoration, the way things should be done, what it should look like when it's finished. So full transparency, we have our big negative air machine running. That's a HEPA 1500, so that does 1500 CFMs, which is cubic feet per minute. That's how much air it moves. That's how much air it filters out with a HEPA filter and then circulates outside. The guys have gone through and HEPA vacuumed and sanitized all these items like we talked about, but it seems like right after the guys are done HEPA vacuuming and wiping a surface down with an antimicrobial solution, it seems as though dust and dirt is then falling back on these decontaminated items. Not that they're getting recontaminated, but there's dust and dirt buildup on them right after they've been HEPA vacuumed and wiped down. So obviously it doesn't look good. Obviously we pride ourselves on having everything spotless, shiny, clean when we're done. So what we're going to do is we're going to add another HEPA air scrubber, which is this one right here. That's a HEPA 1000. So that does 1000 CFMs, cubic feet per minute. And we're going to take the discharge, which is right there. That's where air comes out after it's been filtered by those HEPA filters, pre-filters, and filter media. And we're going to have it discharge right to this negative air machine that we're currently ducting out the window. Right there, ducting out the window. So that will allow all of any dust and dirt that is just falling down, whether it's just being kicked up by the negative air machine over there, or guys HEPA vacuuming, or it's just falling down, or whatever the situation is that's causing dust to land on already cleaned materials and items. That will prevent that from occurring, because we're creating a circulation of air through these air scrubbers and these negative air machines. So that way anything that doesn't get filtered out here with this HEPA air scrubber, it'll get ducted over to here and then filtered out with this negative air machine. So just, you know, like I said, full transparency. If we run into an issue on something, you know, we'll work through it, we'll get it done. It's not like there's an extra charge for us to bring in another HEPA air scrubber to remove any dust and dirt, debris, mold spores, things like that out of the air. And it's not as if this negative air machine isn't big enough for this space. This HEPA 1500 far exceeds the minimum 2 to 3 air changes per hour for this cubic footage of this basement area. It's not that it's less than what it should be. It's actually greater than what it should be. But even in that instance, we're still getting the dust and dirt landing on things that have already been cleaned. So we're going to go back through, re-clean everything, have this additional air scrubber running, and then circulating air to the second negative air machine, just so that we're sure when we're done, everything has been completely decontaminated, sanitized, there's no dust or dirt laying on anything, everything's super clean, spotless. We'll go ahead and vacuum and then mop the floor on our way out. It smells better, it'll look perfect. So again, full transparency, that's the reason we make these videos, so that you guys can see what goes on and how it's done. And if we run into an issue, you know, nothing's perfect. A lot of times it doesn't work out the way it's supposed to, but we'll continue to work through those issues and make sure the job gets done to the standard, both the IICRC's mold remediation standard and our ethical standard for perfection. So we'll make sure we get that done. And I will make a video when we start the kitchen, either again tomorrow or the next day, and show you guys what that looks like from upstairs. You guys can see the leak, see where the water's coming in at, see what's under that linoleum flooring when we pull it back. So keep an eye out for that video. As always, if anybody has any questions, any indoor air quality concerns, definitely give us a call. Check us out on all of our other social media platforms. And as always, I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you on the next video.